Alright, this is Yalak. It's September 4th, 2016. My lesson today is entitled No Planets, No Aliens. I was reading this morning and it popped out to me in, just another time that the widespread worldwide push for us to see and believe in aliens and other planets, galaxies, and so on does not appear to me, based on scripture, to be correct. Based on my observation as well, it doesn't appear to me to be true either. Of course, I'm just like the average person. I don't work at a space agency and I don't have a telescope that cost millions and millions and millions of dollars to build, with a very large lens that itself costs millions and millions and millions of dollars to make and to polish, and is probably the lens alone is transported by a truck that's dedicated to just transporting the lens to the site where it will be installed. But the world, this modern world, and also in ancient times, but there's a push now in modern times to finalize deception on the earth. And that push is having us believe in aliens more and more. You see a lot of space shows on TV. I used to want to see all these space shows and space documentaries all the time. One time I moved and my decision on getting cable or satellite at the time was decided by who was going to offer the most space shows and who had a space documentary channel, right? Of course, that's a long time ago. I'm smarter now about these things, and I just don't find enough reason to believe anymore that there are other planets out there with aliens on them and so on, right? Of course, I didn't believe strongly that there were aliens out there, but I did believe that there were other planets out there. But as time went on from as a child, I was starting to wonder, right? But now reading the scriptures, I can see, and just listening to what people are saying in general, more and more people start to see some trickery in this, right? By the space agencies. Now, when I read the Bible here, just in general, the whole Old Testament, when I hear heaven and earth being talked about in what we call the world or the planet, it doesn't describe in the Bible a place where we live that is like or one of many such places in the universe. It's seeming to me more and more that the universe is fully or mostly or mainly made up of where we live and what we see, meaning the earth that our feet really walks on, and the sky above us with the heavenly bodies, right? The stars and so on. I don't find heaven and earth as words being used in the Hebrew scriptures to include other planets where other beings either do live on or might live on that are probably like us, right? But there's a mad push more and more to let us think that. They're sending all these satellites out for 30 years and so on. And lately on the news over the past month, 2 months, there's just been this very quick barrage of information on the radio while I'm driving to tell us about, oh, they're finding another planet that might be like Earth. Now it used to be once a blue moon you hear that. Now it's like, oh, 4 or 5 planets in a certain area fairly close together, that's so close to us, like I forgot how much they said, like 4 light years or 4 trillion light years, whatever, compared to like hundreds and thousands of trillions of light years away that they used to say. Now they're bringing it closer and closer and telling you it's not just one planet. We used to think, oh, one planet. Wow, so far we might never get there, but at least it might be possible. Now it's like a few of them so close. So it's like they're hitting your mind with this all the time. I got something here that I just read this morning from Deuteronomy 4, verse 14. But before that, let's read Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And the Most High said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Verse 15, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So right away, I'm getting the understanding here that what was created in the sky was for the people on the earth where we live, right? So we got day and night, and seasons and all these lights in the sky serve us. It's for us here who live on the earth, right? It doesn't say that it's there, these stars are there to serve people from other galaxies or creatures from other galaxies, right? From other nations in other solar systems or other planets in other galaxies. It doesn't identify any such thing. So the instruction that the Creator had written, left for us, just does not allow us to see other galaxies of people living on other planets, right? So right away, if you're just going by the scriptures, that's just exactly what you come away with. You don't see anything else. Before I knew of an African space agency, a Russian space agency, an American space agency, like the popular NASA, although there are other space agencies, but most of us just know NASA over this side. Before I knew of that as a youngster, like in my late teens, I never thought of other planets and other creatures. Right? I never thought of that. But when these space agencies and scientists start to tell us these things and have never shown us, then I start to believe. So you can tell me there's someone living in Sweden, and you can tell me that there are people living in China and so on, right? But you can prove those by having someone visit from that country coming off a boat or off a plane, and I can see them, I can prove it. But when they tell me there's someone living in Andromeda, or might be, they have no way to prove it, so you have to just believe them. And they're barraging you with so many, many, many pictures and so many sentences about what is possible. And because they cannot prove that to you by letting this creature stand before you and prove that he's from someplace else, you have no way to really solidify that. You just have to believe it. But then they want to make you look like an idiot for believing what's written in the Hebrew scriptures, when the reality is they have not proved to you someone coming from Andromeda or from some other star that's 50 billion light years away. So you just have to believe them. So why are you an idiot for believing what's in the Bible with people who lived in the Bible times, in the stories in the Bible, who it's been shown in so many ways that they live, and you can find artifacts from this and that king and so on. So you can in some way verify that. You can find bones of mummies and whatever, right? And you look like an idiot in this world's eyes for believing what's in the Bible, but you are accepted if you believe something that someone tells you about a distant 50 billion light year away planet in a galaxy you've never seen, they've never seen, cannot prove to you that they have seen. Since we're told that NASA photoshops its photographs that it brings to us, right? But here, from what I'm seeing in Genesis chapter 1, 14 and 15, it seems that in the firmament or in the sky or in the heavens above, lights were given for the people that actually live on the earth, not for the people that live in the galaxy, not for the people who live in the Milky Way, not for the people who live in another galaxy like Andromeda or on some other star, right? Not for any such people or creature elsewhere, but for the people on the earth. Now let's run over to Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 14. And the Most High commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go over to possess it. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Most High spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire. Alright? Now another thought just came to me reading this. If you look at similitude, it's a Hebrew word tamuna. It says it means form, image, likeness, representation, semblance, right? So basically, he's saying right here, through Moses, that you didn't see any picture of me. You don't have something where you can draw and say, this is exactly what he looks like. This is what the Creator looks like. This is what the God of Israel who brought us out of Egypt looks like. This is his face. His head is like this, is shaped like this. He's got, regular sized eyes or whatever. And, you just can't say, this is a picture and we're going to photocopy this and distribute it all over the earth. You didn't see any similitude, nothing that you can compare him onto, right? So anytime somebody comes and tells you this is what it looks like, it's just a guess, an imagination on their part. It's a made up story, right? Now, by extension also, it seems to me at least that this verse here saying you saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Most High spake to you means that people should be able to prove things that they have seen and unable to prove that which they have not seen. Or they should be unable to convince you in your heart of things that they cannot prove that they have seen. So if NASA or any space agency wants you to believe in some creature from distant galaxies, you cannot, or you should not believe them, because they need to have a way to prove to you that which they have seen. And they've got no way to prove it. Now you understand that to look through a telescope to see outer space means to me that you're showing me what you said you saw. But what about all the many millions of dollars of worth of software that's used to process those images that they say that they have and that it's reported that they photoshopped and so on? How many millions of dollars have been poured over the decades and decades and decades to make that software to let their computer systems and telescopes and so on function the way it does, to produce an image to you to say, this is what is out there. Out there where we can't go, so far away, many billions and trillions of light years away, they say, when for a lot of us, our cars can't always make it to where we're going on a long trip sometimes if your car is old. And even new cars are found broken down on the side of the road on the highway from even reputable companies, while still under warranty. As if, come on. And yet we're going to travel so far away. They sent all these, I don't know, it's just crazy. Spaceships so far away and, I don't know. But verse 16 says, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female. So he's going to go on to basically let you know that if you're coming up with images that you are presenting that you're believing in and presenting to people of things up in the sky and so on, right? Of things on the earth and so on that you are creating, it is a corruption that's happening inside of you. The likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, these are things that the ancient world was doing, right? The likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars and all the hosts of heaven, should be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Most High thy power hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. That's the last verse I'll read here. See what he's saying? When they're telling you that there are stars that they found in distant galaxies, with planets revolving around those stars being the sun. They say, oh, we found a planet revolving around its star, basically saying revolving around its sun, because they say the sun is a star. So when they say that they found this planet that's like Earth that might support life, revolving around its star at a certain distance, which means that it can support life similar to life on Earth, and there are some stars around that planet, and a moon as well, or a few moons around that planet. Like even in our solar system here, some planets they say have moons and so on. And 50 trillion light years away, because they know you can't really get there. You're not going to get there next year or in 10 years anyway, so they can tell you all kinds of phenomenal things, right? But it can't be true, because based on the scriptures here, the Most High is saying that the stars, the moon and the stars, or the hosts of heaven, were actually given not to creatures or people from other planets and other galaxies to serve them. So how can there be creatures 50 trillion light years away with their own stars that are serving them? The stars and the heavenly bodies are not there to serve people or creatures from other planets and other galaxies, but the stars are there to serve the people on this earth. That's why it says here in Deuteronomy 4:19, running on the heels of Genesis chapter 1, that the Most High have given the moon, the stars, and all the hosts of heaven. And if I jump down more, he has given those things and had divided them, these stars and so on, unto all nations under the whole heaven. Not divided the stars unto creatures from other galaxies. And not that these stars are meant to serve planets from other solar systems. The stars are meant to serve the people on the earth, and their functions, the functions of the sun, the moon, and the stars have been set up and instituted to serve the earth, or the nations, all the nations on the earth or under the whole heaven. That's why people on the earth see the sun, the moon, and the stars, right? Because their functions have been divided so that they serve all of the nations on the earth, right? Even if you don't serve the Creator, which judgment's going to come later for that, but even if you don't serve the Creator, He has still given their functions to serve you. Not that these stars and so on should be serving creatures or galaxies elsewhere, right? Or planets elsewhere, but to serve this earth and the people on this earth. No planets, no stars from other solar systems, other galaxies, as far as what I find that I can verify in science, because they cannot prove it, and as far as what I see in the scriptures. And why would I choose to believe the scriptures? Because the scriptures inform me about science. And the scriptures also inform me about the different things that have happened on the earth and are happening right now and are yet to happen. And so far, it's been checking out correct. Right? Look at all the different. Just running a search online on a search engine or on YouTube for the proof that the Bible is real. Yeah, people want to say, oh, it's not real, it's made up and made up, whatever. Yet still, you're going to find other people showing the artifacts which are in museums, which these Commonwealth nations are making money off. The artifacts that are found from descriptions in Bible times and written, some of them in the Bible, from, excuse me, from nations that are mentioned in the Bible. Excuse me, and from kings that are mentioned in the Bible, and they've got these relics, these artifacts, and the remnants of cities and so on, and the different clay potteries and inscriptions and steles and so on. They are found on the earth. The more they keep searching and digging, they find them, and they put them in museums to make money off them, because they know this will sell. This will attract visitors, and we can make money off this truthful information written off in the Bible. Because the Bible is true. And it's bringing out here that you don't have these other galaxies and creatures from other planets. Thanks for listening.